Beautiful day in the neighborhood. Boy, you're off for short today there, bud.
But as we talk, there we
There
go.
we go. Can't stand up.
First time I've ever been called short.
Was that right your whole life?
Yes.
You hang around with Jeff long enough, you'll be that. I mean, that guy is super tall. All right, we are live. We're on air. This is Dayton Christian Recovery from New Hope Church. We're looking at 522 Xenia Avenue, although we're not been around there for a while. We got a lot of things to tell you today. Welcome to Recovery Talk. We try to make this a meeting. People are a little uncomfortable because it's kind of broadcast. Now we do have some private pages that we can go and maintain our anonymity. I have not been able to say that all day. But anyway, we got some places that you can go and you can hang out and you can be part of that. And we're going to tell you more about that today. We're also going to tell you today about what we think is getting ready to happen in the recovery community. Going to also tell you about not only our online programs and classes and those kind of things. We're going to tell you about some and show you some places that you can go. And in fact, I was just before this meeting, was at a meeting, and there were people from almost every major country, definitely every continent, it seems. And I mean, tons of people in the meeting, hundreds of people, because they're disenfranchised and unable to go to their meetings. So a lot of people in our same situation as the countries that have been about 2 weeks ahead of us. We can kind of see what's happening there, where they're going, kind of sends us a clue on where we're going. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. We're going to talk about how to stay in recovery. And you know what? It doesn't really change. It just seems to be more intense because of the crisis. Pastor Bud is with us today, our co-host, and I'm assuming Ronnie will be here in a little bit. As we progress in this program, we hope to add more and more people that have some time in recovery that would like to share information with you and show you things. Good morning, Pastor Bud, or good afternoon. I guess it's noontime.
Good afternoon, everyone. Happy to see everybody this day. Hope everyone is doing well, focusing on their sobriety today and looking at the positives of life and not the negatives out there. What are we talking about today? Can we talk about bitterness over this?
Well, you know, you can talk about anything you want. One of the things that we're going to talk about how we cope. We're talking about that every day. So bitterness would be something we cope with. And I'm guessing that's what you have notes on because you brought it up.
Actually, no. Excuse me. I was just thinking about it on the way home. When I was at the grocery store a little bit ago, I had one guy tell me how upset he was over this, and I tried to give him a little bit of hope and faith in it, but he didn't want to hear about my hope and faith. He was just bitter about the whole thing. And I just smiled, told him to have a good day. So I thought some people could be feeling bitter towards not being able to go out, not being able to work right now. A lot of people is unable to work because of what this is doing. So I can see some bitterness setting in or anger, either way. And pass it back to you, Dane.
All right. So we do, it happens, you know, we have a choice. And, you know, I wish my wife was here because sometimes when I talk this Pollyanna type of stuff, she smacks me because she's here when I get mad and I throw the phone and I get upset and those kind of things. And, but you know, when you're looking at from this side, when we're looking at this guy at the store that's bitter, man, it's so much easier to kind of give them direction and tell them what's going on, which is kind of cool because maybe they're listening to ourselves. And so we get that choice every day we make a decision. Are we going to be in a good mood or a bad mood? Are we going to let this stuff attack us and override us? And you know, last night about 11 o'clock, you know, I'm sitting around here and to me, this whole virus thing feels like if you've ever seen in Desert Storm and in Iraq, they would have these things. I forget what my son told me about them, but it was like a cloud of dust. It's a dust storm, but it's literally, I mean, it's coming across it. You can't see anything. You can't breathe. It takes the paint off your car. That's kind of what this reminds me of. That they're talking about it's coming. It's way, way in the distance, and it's getting closer and closer. Last night about 11 o'clock, I kind of had it was the end of the day, and I was getting around, and I skipped a piece of my of the program, and which is where we sit down and we look at the day that we just had, and I'm sitting there and I'm just thinking about kind of get a little overwhelmed and feel that fear well up inside me. And I'm like, man. And what's great about having the program and doing the same things every day, you just start clicking down when something like that comes in your head. Okay, what am I missing? What am I missing? Until you get to the point, oh, and this is the point where I'm supposed to look at what's going on in my day and get in prayer. And you and Ronnie had brought that up yesterday. Having prayer as part of your day. When we go to prayer, what we do is we take all this extra stuff around us and we focus it down, kind of like putting it in a funnel. There's a whole class on that, and we bring it together so it's not hidden. We bring it into the forethought, and then we have a conversation with God about it. It makes it so much easier because then we can listen to what he's got to say. If we've been putting ourselves in the Bible and being close to his word, he's going to reveal stuff to us through his word. That makes sense?
Yes, it does. That's why I see this sign behind me say prayer changes things. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
Let me move out of the way. But that why, I believe prayer can change anything out there. But when we go to God and pray, we got to give him 100%. We can't give him 90% or 80%. If we really believe our prayers is going to be answered, we have got to claim it with the victory. We got to say, God, you know what to do. I'm claiming this in your name. And so often what happened is, in my opinion, we only give him 90% because we want to hold on to 10% of it because I'm thinking we can handle it. Most of the things we got it into has been our own self-made problems. And now we realize we need God to get us out of it, but we got to give it all to him. And I have seen that with many people telling us, well, I'm going to pray to God, but I'm going to hold this part back. I've been guilty of it. So, release it. Let God have it, not us have it.
I love it when you say, in my opinion, because I know what I'm going to hear next is what you, even though you say we, it's how you feel and what you're doing. Same thing with me. We get, and that's all we can really talk about it. I mean, we can call this recovery talk and we can talk general if we want. Everybody knows when they hear us, we're talking about our experience, strength, and hope. And we've been around a while, so some of it makes sense, but some of it, like being in fear and getting caught up with that, it doesn't really make sense. It's not logical. But this whole thing that's happening in the world right now isn't logical. It's like a really bad movie. It's not even scripted well, and it's kind of scary. So things are changing. Things are moving kind of fast. What I'm hearing you say is, what we got to do is get back to basics. I used to be in retail for, my whole life, almost 40 years of my working life. I was in retail when I wasn't in the Army. And one of the things, every time, I finally got into management, and when I would go into a broken store, the first thing we would do to fix it was go back to the very basics. What time are breaks? What time are people coming to work on time? Are we dressed in the right uniform? Are we saying the right thing to the customers? Are we following all these things that are in place to make an operation work correctly? Same thing with the reason why we have the Bible. It's the reason why I urge people to read the whole thing is it's one thought. And if we get stuck in any one piece of it, we might not be, if we get stuck back in the Old Testament with David, we might think we need a slingshot to carry around with us. And every time somebody gets in our way, we hit them with a rock in the middle of the forehead. But we know that is a story in there to get us to the end. So it's good that we have that word as strength. The meeting I was in right before I came here was the subject was an AA meeting, and the subject was progress, not perfection. Spiritual progress, not spiritual perfection. And I listened to about 30 people share on that. There's about 100 people in the meeting. and it was an online meeting. I'm gonna take us there for so you folks that come to find out more about online meetings and what we're going to do with online meetings. We're going to get there in a minute. But what I thought is I heard all the shares from people that were brand new to people that have been around a way longer than I have, like 30, 40 years. And, that's where our fear comes in, proportional to our progression in our spiritual life is how quickly we get back away from fear and closer to faith, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And so it just takes a while. It's just like the thing, getting back to basic, get back to the Bible. It tells us what to do. And one of the things it tells us to do is gather together, and that's becoming a big problem. And so that's what we're going to talk about for you folks that are joining us today. That we made an announcement this morning, but at New Hope, we have, after tonight's NAA meeting, we will be following the direction of the governor and the direction of everyone. Oh, I just touched my face. I'm going to die. I'll keep doing that. I need that cone so I don't touch my face. Put on dog. I've seen a couple of memes about that. So what happens after today at the NA meeting at 544 Xenia Avenue? That'll be the last meeting we'll have at the New Hope recovery block until the governor releases us to come back, then get together, until we can get this a control on this virus piece. And the way we're going to know, the indication is going to be for us when they open the salons and the bars and all those other areas that the last contact places. They're getting ready, I think, to close the daycares probably in today's announcement or tomorrow's announcement. But when we get back to some normalcy, we'll want to get back to face-to-face meetings as quickly as possible. And we'll be the first place to open the door, I promise, once we get the all clear. We're doing everything. We have people disinfecting this place, and once this meeting's over tonight, I'm going to go, and some other people are going to go. We're going to make sure every surface is disinfected. Then no one will be in there until we come back. So it should be ready, except for there are some things that we want to do to be able to embrace the community. And if you stay tuned to our page, you'll see those. So those meetings will be over. So I've been working diligently with Bud and some other Celebrate Recovery people and some AA people to have a plan in place when today came that we would have an alternative. First of all, I want to let you know there are some meetings still open. I just saw today that Outcasts are still doing their meeting. So if the thing doesn't worry you about being in proximity to somebody that might have the virus or catching it and giving it to someone else, there's an alternative down on Hunter Street. This guy's been doing a long time. In fact, the guys that started the meeting at New Hope. Our alternatives are to go online. And what we see is with I'm trying to get the full circle John down to talk to us, to tell us exactly what the intricacies of sober living and treatment are within this virus. Some of the things that I see it look like you're going into partial lockdown to full lockdown. I mean, to the point where if you leave the building, you can't come back in. That's going to be part of your condition of staying there. The medical staff, the treatment, the counselors, the meetings are all going virtual. So they're meeting in a group, just like we're meeting right now. So even if we weren't to shut down our meeting by next week, I'm pretty sure everybody's going to be on some sort of either self-quarantine or government or not government or mandated in the facilities that they're within, because you can't afford in a sober house for one guy to really get sick because your whole house is down. Or if you're in treatment, you take out the whole treatment facility. So it makes sense. My point is, online seems to be the way to go. Some folks are saying, what about this newfangled way to go? I'm going to tell you that online meetings have been around for 15, almost 20 years that I can remember. I remember when they first started, AA said, we will never do online meetings. That's totally not against our traditions. And they held out when Nicotine Anonymous actually led the charge to have online meetings, which were type shares back then. Then they went to video shares and on and on. My point is, now AA is online and they have a full host of online meetings. I'm just going to go show you a couple of these places. It's very, very simple to get to, Bud. I'm going to push you over here a little bit.
Okay.
There we go. So yeah, there's AA. Actually, this is an AA sanctioned place. You can just go to AA. They've got a backup room because they've got a lot of stuff going on right now. My favorite place right now is in the rooms. It's a really cool place. Now they are even getting lagged down because they have where they used to have tens of people, they have hundreds and hundreds of people. Video meetings are very cool. I'm not going to go into a meeting because one of the terms of the agreement is that you won't broadcast them or record them. But here's just a meeting for the day. They started at 2 a.m. because they're international. So 2 o'clock is somebody else's, midday or whatever. But there's a meeting every few hours. I just came out of this 12 o'clock meeting or this 10 o'clock meeting. And so you just click and you go in the meeting. There is a video your picture comes up when you tell it to. You don't have to. You can mute your camera and you can just talk. It's totally anonymous. Everybody except for me, it seems, it goes by either has an avatar or goes by some kind of coded name or whatever. Anyway, right there in the rooms, that's one of the places, AA Online. And then soon we have a secret place that you can't get to unless you're invited. I'm going to give you a quick view of, there's two of them. There's one of them that's NA and AA, and that's where we'll hold every night of the week at 6:30, just like we are now. We're going to be doing recovery meetings. So if you don't know anybody that is in our recovery community, get a hold of Bud or myself and just PM us and we'll invite you to the rooms and then you'll be in there. There'll also be Christian recovery every day of the week. Right now, we think it's going to be at 4 because we might have to have the same chairs for both meetings. We invited the chairs of the current meetings to come and chair their meeting online. And only Larry, our friend Larry, took us up on that. And so, but we're still going to have the meetings. We wanted to invite them first. If they don't want to chair or move their meeting online, I get it. We will just go ahead and have that meeting. So you'll be invited. So there's one of the rooms. That's what it looks like. It's just like any other room. You can look at the thing, but no one can come to, even if you type that URL in right now, it's not going to bring you to anything because it's a secret room. So nobody can see if you're in it. It's more anonymous than going into a regular meeting, because in a regular meeting, anybody can show up and say that, even if it's a closed meeting, and say, hey, I'm allowed to be here and we're going to let them in. And if it's an open meeting, anybody's allowed to be in. This meeting is a closed meeting and only you can invite people in. So it's somebody that's in recovery. And like I said, we encourage you to get a hold of Bud and myself, and we will get you invited into those meetings. I see one person just popped up already. And so that's kind of what's happening with us. I want to make sure I get that out for 15 minutes. Anybody would like to share with us? Let me just pull back here. We got tons of comments. I forgot to have the comment screen up. I'm going to go back here to Bud. Just give me 1 second. And Bud's going to talk while I get these comments on the screen.
Oh, I just love to talk. Thank you, Pastor Dane. Folks, we have got a lot out there. Hi, Debbie. Got a lot out there, and there's no reason to sit at home, be isolated. Feel free to join the group and listen to what people is talking about. We are here for everybody. Hi, Gwen. We want everybody to recover. We don't want no relapses going on right now. Don't hesitate to message myself, or you can call my phone at 937-520-6801. I'm willing to talk to you, and if I need to come and meet with you one-on-one, we can do that. I'm not against helping anybody. And we need to reach out to our brothers and sisters in recovery and let them know, hey, at least try this online stuff. Everybody got a cell phone or internet, or can get a hold of somebody. I talked to a lady today. I'm taking a paper over to her for she can give it to her whole group to let them know what website to go to. So, it is exciting what we can do, but just think back to 20 or 30 years ago. If this were to happen, we would have not been able to talk to people right now like we can today. And that way, in the rooms, they always tell you to get phone numbers. And this is why it's important to have phone numbers for you can contact. Yes? You have something, Dane?
No, I'm just setting up the next segment. Go ahead.
Okay. Phone numbers, check on our brothers and sisters in recovery. I have been checking on about 5 to 10 a day, just sending them a message or just saying, hey, but while you're sitting around with no meetings to go to, just message each other to say, hey, just want to know how you're doing. And on the people I've been messaging, if I've been asking how they're doing in sobriety too, because I want them to know their sobriety is very important in themselves, but also to myself too. I want to see everybody do well for when we get back to the rooms. I want to see everybody. I want to hear that everybody got through this sober. Over to you, Dane.
All right. So we're trying to figure this out, and we're getting that. One of the things that we're trying to do, we weren't able to. We want to broadcast this to many people that want to get it. Not everybody's on Facebook, so if you look down there, we have a YouTube page that I had made for After Hours for New Hope. So it's a New Hope YouTube page. So that's kind of what this looks like down there. And if you click that link, it will take you. Every time we go live now, we'll be going live from that YouTube page. In fact, that's going to take over and be our New Hope YouTube page. Our old YouTube page is run by a guy that we kind of decided we were going to quit using that because we were doing so much live stuff, and it's connected to their Gmail account, so they don't want to do anyway. So the archives will still be there. But if you need to get this link to somebody that's not on Facebook, then and they want to see these things, they can do this. They can interact the exact same way. It comes right up. It's right now. Of course, there's a lag there, but that's the YouTube page right there, broadcasting live. You just click on that, and you will be. Excuse me. It'll take you there, and I need your help. I know there's 7 of us on the main page, and then there's a bunch of people on every one of the pages. Look at this. This is called video feedback. I spent all my money to go to 2.5 years of video school to learn that one term. That's all I know about video feedback. So in any case, if you go to that link, please go there and subscribe, because it's a new page, and to be able to have our name there instead of having all that YouTube, all that number or whatever it is, we have to have subscribers, and we have to have 100 subscribers. So if you would just go there and you just click on the New Hope, I was going to show you that. If you just click on where it says, let me go back. Where it says down here, see down here where it says New Hope Church, that little N, that's going to change to something else here in a minute. Then you just come over here, and right over here where I see this, you'll see subscribe. You just click subscribe, and then you can be part of our channel. Like I said, once we get 100 people, we only have 6, 100 people, we can actually name our channel up here. So then all you have to do is type in New Hope Church, and it comes up. So that'll be kind of cool. We always invite anybody who likes to share with us to come and share. We started with about 30 people. Once we gave the news that we said we would, they kind of took off. So I get that. We're going to be back at 6 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, I'm going to try to have Bud and I'm Ronnie. I'm trying to get John from Full Circle to come and talk about what's going on in. He's kind of the innovator around here. When him and Good Shepherd, although they do different things. One is a post-living facility, although John has those now. But John kind of the innovator of that treatment transfer piece, just a humongous thing in the past couple of years. And then, of course, Good Shepherd is doing a fantastic job. We're going to invite those guys in to come talk about what's happening with that, and let you know how to get into treatment, and if you're in treatment, how to progress out of that or go to the next level. We're also looking for people to come in and talk to us, step us through this unemployment situation. We went from less than 2% unemployment to 25% in about 24 to 48 hours. It's just the bottleneck at the government's end is going to be crazy. They eliminated the waiting week. Bud told me, I went and verified that. That's true. However, even with the elimination, that's a ton. Luckily, we're online, so a lot of it is goes quickly. I think they're going to do mass approvals. That's going to be okay. But the people that are suffering are our friends that are tipped employees, part-time employees, because the law does not provide for them, as far as I know. They ask at the press conferences over and over again, and they kind of said they don't know what they're going to do with that. So we need to take care of our friends, our tipped employees, our friends, our delivery drivers, our contract laborers, our 1099 folks, our guys that work off the books or whatever. That doesn't sound right, but people that don't have incomes right now because their facilities got shut down, we need to keep them in mind. We certainly need to keep it in our prayers, and we need to take a look at those extra supplies we have. I'm sure they're okay now. They got a little money in their pocket. They just got paid, but next week it's going to get thinner and thinner. And since we're going to be on quarantine, maybe we can figure out ways without doing all these fundraisers online or whatever. Although if that's something you know how to do and you can do that for somebody, that might be one way. But ways to get them food. You can give them all the money in the world. Bud, I've been trying to buy meat for 3 or 4 days, and Bud finally found me some meat at Aldi's today. Or I wouldn't, because I'm on lockdown myself. I'm self-sequestered because I have the start of a cold. So just a cold, I'm hoping. But my point is that I can't even get out next week. I don't think anybody's going to be able to get out. So we need to figure out a way to take care of those folks until their unemployment comes in. And if their unemployment doesn't come in, that's where we come in as a community. We help anybody we can. So if you got 10 pounds of hamburger, man, we take that we can divide that into 10 1-pound bags and give people food that need food. It is under no fault of their own are they employed. One day we woke up, we had a job. The next day, we didn't even get fired. I mean, we'd have some solace if we were able to tell our boss hey, screw off, I'm walking out of here. And we didn't get to do that. One day they just shut it down. So I'm just talking about taking care of, that's what the fellowship's about. That's what Christianity is about. You want to go back to that one thought in that book? It said, go sell everything you own and give it to the poor, and then come follow me, and we'll take care of each other. Well, we're in a similar situation now, so let's help out everybody we can. If you need help, there's a weather alert. If you need help, get a hold of Bud or myself or Pastor Jeff. If you need anything, if we can help, we'd be glad to. If you need somebody to talk to, okay, dudes and dudettes, I don't sleep. And you can see by these things under my eyes. And during this thing, I don't sleep because what I'm not working during the day, I'm working in the middle of the night. So call me. And if I don't hear well, so you have to text. But if I don't text you right back, I'm going to be up within the next hour. I don't sleep more than an hour at a time. So my point is, don't feel bad. In the middle of the night, you're scared, you feel bad, you got something on your mind, you need to talk. Just text me. Get Buzz, but similar. But you text him within a couple hours, he's going to get back with you. Pastor Jeff, any of us are. That's what we're here for. That's our function in life. We may have other things that we're doing, but this is why we're here. We really do love you. I know you. Sometimes you think, yeah, that's BS. Man, we do love you because we don't have to do this. Just like you don't have to do the philanthropic things that you do. We do it because we want to. We're compelled to, because we feel like Jesus took care of us. That's what the Bible says. He did it for us first, and we want to try to do whatever we can to give back. Bud's going to wrap this up, and then he's going to pray for us, and then we're going to be out of here. I just want to say thank you so much for being here today.
The one thing I would like to mention, there's a couple ladies in the group that cuts hair that is out of work and looking for anybody that needs a haircut. And our waitress and waitresses, we really need to remember them because they have no money coming in. And on this unemployment deal, they don't give you credit for the tips you get. They base your unemployment off how much you make a week. So we need to keep them in mind. But let's go to prayer. Father, Lord Jesus, I just ask right now that you reach out to the people that is facing unemployment today, Lord, that you just help them, give them a peace of mind, put people in their lives to be able to help them with the financial obligations they have. Lord, I ask that you be with our doctors, our nurses, our hospitals, our first responders, wherever they may be and wherever they may be, that you just be with them, Lord, and just touch them and put your angels around them to protect them from this virus, Lord. And Lord, now I sense a lot of fear going on today. I just ask that people will rely on you and not on themselves, and they quit projecting the things that is going to happen, Lord, and they just depend on living for you, Lord, and not project out there what could or could not happen. Lord, I'm just going to dedicate the rest of the day to you, Lord, and just put this whole day and the rest of the day in your hands and be with us all. Amen.
Go.
I am the church. You are the church. We are the church. We are the church. Together. We're all around the roof. Yes, we're the church together. The children.